Morning, 16th of April 2019, the start of our 19-day cruise around the Mediterranean. The weather's a bit overcast, a temperature of 12 degrees, but looking forward to it. Carol on deck taking the views in Southampton, which is the cruise capital of the UK, with 4 passenger cruise terminals, one being the Ocean, Queen Elizabeth II, Mayflower and the City Cruises. Our cabin for the cruise, nice little 2-bed, ensuite bathroom, coffee and tea and a sofa to sit on. Receiving a daily information sheet which gives us our itinerary for the day. Morning exercise taken around the deck, 3 times round here, equivalent to 1 mile. Quite a lot of people take up this option to get a bit of exercise while we're sailing. But obviously if it's rough seas, they close the doors to access to the prom deck, which this is. Approaching the glass panel in front is what they call a lift, which when we swing back you'll see. There are 4 of these, 2 on each side of the ship, port and starboard. This is just one. I'm on to deck 10. We're going to go down through the decks. Hello. You can see the lifeboats which we walk under when we walk round. Coming down to the deck which we're on, which is, you'll find out in a moment, Granada deck.
Grenada deck, deck 1.
This is the view of our passage towards the cabin. On deck you've got entertainment in the theatre, which is an absolute magic place, and the shows put on there with top quality West End. As we're sailing, we're seeing a lot of shipping. Opportunity to take some sun shining whilst it was shining. On deck was Carol there. Now this is the pool, which the canopy had a problem. It wouldn't close. Now we're passing Gibraltar on our way out to our first port of call, which will be Cartagena, which is after 3 days of sailing. We're passing through the Straits of Gibraltar. And there's the rock itself. Some lovely views. An opportunity to take some lovely pictures, especially of the wake from the ship. We're supposed to be arriving in Cartagena on the 20th, but we saw the opportunity to. There were some seals, dolphins even, which passed. This is the port of Cartagena. Temperature 17 degrees. We actually took a bus trip around the city and ventured out from Arcadia. Taking in some of the local sights. Some of the old ruins, historical places. After we turned round in the bus and heading back, we had a beautiful view of the ship Arcadia. Once we got back into Cartagena, we left the bus and took on foot into the centre itself. Where the lovely Carol needed some new footwear. So we did a little bit of shopping before returning to the ship. And looking at the harbour from the top deck, an awful lot of yachts and boats, which was dwarfed by Arcadia. Leaving Cartagena, the weather changed. Easter was taken, but on the night of 21st, 22nd, we experienced a force 12 gale. This is the following morning on the 22nd, where it had calmed down a bit. Needless to say, I don't travel very well, and Carol got me some seasick tablets, which worked wonders. We've now arrived in the port of Corfu, along with some other cruise ships. The view taken from the quayside, looking in towards Corfu itself. Now that yacht there is brand new. It's even got a helicopter on its rear deck, as you can see from this picture. Carol nearly broke the camera when she took this one, because of the subject she was taking. Some of the views from inside Corfu itself, which is the island of which the Durrells was filmed on. We was hoping to see the actual building, but it was too far out of town. We stopped for a coffee and had a few photos taken in the centre. But there is also some sort of third world buildings, not these, near the centre itself, not far from the harbour. That actually looks like a restaurant, which is similar to the Durrells. Another view of the harbour. Now these are the buildings I referred to, looking a bit dilapidated and third world. To be honest, some of the buildings look like they could do with some renovation. This is a memorial to the Jews of Corfu. Moving on from Corfu, on the 29th of April, we're in Dubrovnik. Temperature a little bit warmer, 23 degrees. There's a wall which goes all the way around, which you can walk around. Carol's been here before and actually done the walk up around the walls. That was when it was free. Now they're looking to charge over €20, 25 I think it was. This is the other side of Dubrovnik, where the yachts and sailing boats are all moored. Can take a walk right round that building to the other side. Restaurant by the harbour side. As you can see, that jetty is a bit wet. This is because where the actual pier sticks out, water is directly from the sea, and if it's a bit rough, it can come over. So you've just got to be a little bit wary of the waves and don't get caught out, which Carol's keeping an eye out for. This is a small one compared to some of them. It's a lovely place. We actually went back to the boat. As you can see, it's around Easter time, for a bite of dinner, after listening to some local musicians. View from the deck of the Arcadia looking down into the harbour where we were moored. Now across there was a hotel in which Carol stopped at last time she was here. Way over there somewhere. So, after a bite and taking some more photographs of the iconic bridge and marvellous feat of engineering, we walked round the harbour. Taking some more photographs of a beautiful lady outside the hotel in which she stopped at last time she was here. Now we set sail again on the 25th, heading for Split, which is where the Kirker National Falls are. Take a little bus ride from the ship out to Kirker National Falls. There's a Kirker National Park which was opened in 1985. Total area covered 109 kilometres of the Kirker River and its basin.
More action for you.
Obviously, a lot of things were driven by water. Even some bread making. A handsome couple. And yes, there are fish in there. People all over the place. Making their traditional dress and clothing on the weaving, bread making, and even the local blacksmith.
That's right.
Water everywhere. And to go round the actual park, they've put wooden paths all around it. So you start at the top, after taking in some beautiful views. There's 5 entrances to the Kirker National Falls, I think. Yeah. But we came into the one travelling from Split, where we were docked. And we did take a boat ride down there. There's the fish which were in abundance in all these little ponds, lakes, call them what you will. As you can see, the footpaths going all the way round. Alan, Ginny and Carol. The paths wound the way round until we rode down some steps. To a lower level where there's another waterfall. And a bridge taking you, I think that one goes back. But we were lucky enough to take a boat trip down the river. But there was 4 of our party were late or didn't arrive because they met in the wrong place. But luckily our guide had a friend who managed to pick them up by car and bring them to the other end of the Kirker River where we disembarked. One of the little boats going back and forth, and that's where we disembarked to take the bus back after waiting for the missing party before we moved on to Venice on the 26th of April. Excuse me. I have never ever seen so many people. It was absolutely heaving. We were going to take a gondola ride, but we declined it as it was a little bit choppy in places, and the cost of it was about €80. We were supposed to be going to a fancy dress ball that night, hence Carol's looking at some masks. The Bridge of Sighs in the background. Ooh. Yes, Mum. Little bridges all over. Even one gigolo stood on one, waiting to take pictures. Then we entered into St. Mark's Square, where the whole place was absolutely chock-a-block with tourists. And this is only April. Heaven knows what it'll be like at the height of the season. So just down there is entrance into St. Mark's Square, where we are now.
See, all the shops here seem to be jewellery, clothes, food.
Tourist, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No standard little shop.
No. You're okay, I've not got you.
The queues waiting to go in were miles, seemed to be miles. And obviously, with us having time constrictions, we declined to go in. But we did stop and have a bite just off one of the alleys from St. Mark's Square. Are no end of little restaurants where we stopped for a glass of wine and a pizza. Not cheap. And we took our tender back to the ship. All the gondolas there. So I imagine when it's the height of the season and all those are in use, it'll be very, very, very congested.
Yes.
But the waterways are busy as they were at this time of the year. And that's unloaded, just the one gondolier on it.
But he's going over with his gondola now, he's covered it all up.
But water traffic was very busy. It was private boats, taxis and buses, believe it or not. I think that's what they were. I think the yellow ones are the actual buses, because there seem to be no end of them. As you can see, it's just reversing. It's amazing how they never bumped into each other. Sorry about the up and down, but we were on a boat and I was trying to keep it as steady as I can. Boom. Now this is around the entrance to the Grand Canal, which these boats are going across the mouth of. You can see the actual mouth as we come across. Yeah. Now heading back to the ship. Before it rained, which it did come down quite a lot in the early afternoon. So we timed it absolutely right. For an evening meal with our friends, Mike, June, Carol and Eddie, in the beautiful restaurant Meridian. From Venice, we were at sea for a few days. The restaurants, if I remember rightly, I think there was 5 of them. Sindhu, Meridian, Marco, Pier White were the 3 main ones, and you had the Belvedere and a cafeteria, or the one on the top deck, which was a sort of a burger bar. chased by a ferry. Took the opportunity to swim in the local pool. Even though the roof was open, it wasn't too bad in the pool and the sunshine was on it. Now we've arrived in the port of Cagliari. On our way back. Went for a walk round, see the local sights. With the temperature being comfortable 17 degrees. And the sun was shining, so it was a nice day. We do know which way, but in case we forgot. And we go to, after the day at sea ended up at Gibraltar on May the 1st. Up the cable car, ride to the top, where there's some beautiful views as you're going up of the Arcadia and Gibraltar itself. Carol, being the brave lady that she is, taking some beautiful photographs over the edge. Me not having a head for heights was not my best place, but there's plenty of my relations on view. Quite playful, these monkeys. Sorry, not the apes, Barbary apes.
The females have got the much bigger backside. Nothing new in my case, but the males actually, when they're bored, have the Mohican hairdo, and they've also
cheeky
got
little
very,
chappies.
very long fangs in sizes.
They're up in the tree.
As you can see, the mist going over the top of the rock. And some of the apes, again, jumping on the wing mirror of the van for a ride. And that, I think, is the oldest ape. The views are tremendous. And that's the actual Gibraltar itself, with the runway coming in on the UK side, so when the aircraft come in they've got to be careful of keeping in the right airspace. Believe it or not, this runway has a road which crosses it, and also a footpath, which you can just see down the bottom there, with the border control being there.
Yep.
Now you can see the traffic coming across the runway. Valerie, who was our guide around Gibraltar, lovely lady. The amount of stuff she knew, unreal. But she loved her work. Our Carol in the caves, where all the stalagmites and stalactites, and the colourful display, absolutely beautiful. Camera doesn't do it justice.
Over there. But one of the exciting things, and I've been watching it for 10 years.
Quite breathtaking. And the size. Oh.
I have been watching occasionally.
And some of the rocks have been cut in half, and inside them what looked like the bear's head. Some of the old armoury from previous wars. Dating back. Long caves. Lot of walking. Some of the gun emplacements from all wars, Second World War and beyond. I'm being attacked. On the harbour at Gibraltar. Now as we was coming back, we had to make a detour into Lisbon for a medical emergency. This was on the 2nd of May. But the weather, as you can see, was gorgeous. As we go underneath the bridge with the train and the traffic on top. It was awesome. As you can see, we're waiting for the ambulance to come to take the medical emergency away to hospital. Of course, all those sad people viewing. On the way back, we're chased by the Ventura. End of our cruise round the Mediterranean.